Let's see the energy coming towards you. It's so funny. Before I started, I was cleansing and clearing my energy. And I lit my Palo Santo and I was asking Spirit for any just intuitive messages, right? And my Palo Santo just started burning really, really high, like really, really hot. The flame got really, really high. And so what I'm getting for some of you is there's something that's about to take off like really fast. It's going to be very passionate. It's going to be very exciting, right? Because it's getting like an 8 of Wands vibe. So yeah, some of you, something's going to move very, very quickly. So I'm hearing pace yourselves. So anyway, let's see what comes out in the cards. But that's what I was getting intuitively. And the funny thing is they gave me a song by Shaka Khan. And it's the one that says, to the fire, to the limit. For a chance to be with you, I'd gladly risk it all, right? It's like to the something fire, to the limit, through the fire, through the limit. I can't sing. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna kill you with my lack of being in tune. But look at this. See what I mean? Romance. I haven't shuffled it. And this is for some of you. It's definitely going to be something romantic, something fun, something exciting. Because you receive fan, romance, celebration, party. And then here too, you're getting cribs. So for some of you, it's something new. So it's like the inception of like a new idea, a new project. Could be a new relationship, a new business. Or literally like giving birth to a physical person, right? Or a pregnancy. Because it says birth or conception of a child or enterprise. And I'm telling you, I was picking up that energy very strongly for some of you. So, all right, let's shuffle and then we'll see what comes out. And I was just thinking to myself, I remember we got that before, right? In terms of like birth, pregnancy, fertility, that kind of stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I used this deck. Because we needed this news on a Monday, right? When you see this, it's going to be Tuesday. Good fortune, beetle. Look at that. So for some of you, if you're seeing beetles, this is going to be even more like important or extra important or resonate even more because that's one of the things. It says good fortune, right? And then here, now here's the thing. Why is it that they always have to give us a catch? So it says good fortune, but do not be tempted to lower your standards, a flag. So some of you may be getting an offer, right? Or you may be getting some sort of opportunity that may seem like, okay, it's too good to be true, right? So just use discernment and don't be tempted to go and get involved in something if it doesn't align with your standards, with your integrity, with your morals, right? In terms of, I'm hearing with your inner compass, Lord Jesus. And then look, we get apple. Why, Spirit? Why? It says temptation will test you. So some of you are going to get something very tempting. And so Spirit wants you to pay attention and just to use discernment, right? Like make sure you ask questions, you know, and like I said, when that I started with that intuitive message, something very passionate, something very fiery, something that's going to burn hot. But just pace yourself. Make sure you ask questions. Make sure you don't rush into anything. You give things time to develop because there may be some sort of test that's coming back around, right? Something that, you know, Spirit may be trying to see, have you learned your lesson? And how are you going to handle this time, right? So anywho, let's shuffle and see what else we get. So we have Quill. So for some of you, the message is it's time to get back to basics. This card fly all the way over here, so I'm going to try to get it. It says get back to basics, right? So if some of you are kind of like fighting with the temptation where you've been trying to kind of like stay on the straight and narrow, you know, in whatever area of your life, right? And you're kind of feeling tempted to go back to something that you know what, if I do this, it's going to get me the results a lot faster. But in the end, I'm not going to be happy with where I am. The advice that Spirit's giving you right now is that's not the time for that. This is the time to get back to basics. So whatever you need to clear out, right? Whatever it is that you need to release, I'm getting the sense that you already know this. And so rather than going into things that are overly complicated, or, you know, a lot of machinations, right? And I'm hearing like any kind of deception. That's not the time for it. This is the time to get back to basics, keep things really simple, right? Because here you have elephant, and elephant have wonderful long memories, right? In terms of just knowledge, you know, an elephant will remember in terms of like where the water hole is, right? And there's usually, it's like a matriarchal energy. She will guide the what do you call the elephants? Is it like the troop, the tribe? I don't know. I'm sorry. Whatever you call the group. I can't think right now. To find, she knows where the water is, right? And so this is what I'm getting at. Some of you have been on a very long journey You've learned a lot of lessons, so you've come very far. So don't be tempted to fall, to go back, right? It says a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So some of you are learning some lessons now. So maybe in the past you were tempted, right? You fell into temptation in terms of going after something that was looked too good to be true. That's what it turned out to be. Or it was fast, it was something that would have gotten you results in a much faster way. But in the end, you may be regretting it because it didn't turn out to be as fruitful or abundant, or you may have had to make certain sacrifices that you're discovering weren't worth it, right? Let's get one more and then we'll clarify. Gong, but some of you are going to have an exciting event coming up, right? So let's clarify some of these because we're kind of going all over the place. So for some of you, the message is, if you're in a situation right now where things are looking a little tough, they want you to not worry, right? Because it says great worry over nothing. You're going to have, some of you are going to have something very exciting coming in. So there may be two groups, right? There may be some of you who've had certain situations and maybe coming to the end of a cycle, and you may be tempted to kind of fall back, or you might be questioning, or you may be wavering on your path in terms of, walking the straight and narrow, right? Walking in the direction that you're being guided, because I'm hearing a lot of you are being guided right now. And so for that, Spirit is saying, keep going, and some of you may even be tested, where Spirit will see, are you ready for this next thing that's coming your way? And then also, too, to get back to basics. If you're in that situation where you're struggling, you're confused, there's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of distraction, the advice is to get back to basics. Some of you are learning a lesson, so you may be seeing 777. I see that as adversity, as well as just spiritual lessons because of the fact that we received this elephant. So if you're seeing elephant, maybe an elephant is your spirit animal, that message will resonate with you. And then also some of you are going to have an exciting event coming up. So let's clarify beetle before we run out of time. So here we have Page of Swords and we have the Five of Wands, right? So in terms of this good fortune, some of you may be discovering, because Five of Wands is an energy of like conflict, drama, whether that be from, external drama. Sometimes it can be internal drama. And then Page of Swords is an energy of, being very curious. You may be learning something. You may be looking into something, right? But I'm trying to figure out, how does this relate to good fortune? So it may be something where some of you, so some of you may be looking into other opportunities, right? You may be wanting to get yourselves out of a situation, something that's going to bring you good fortune. And it's one of those things where it may be very competitive in the field that you're in. So you're doing some research, you're gathering information, you may have new ideas. You may see this as something that's going to be very fortunate, right? Very fortuitous in terms of taking you to the next level. But there's going to be some amount of competition. So that's why Spirit is saying, don't be tempted to lower your standards. So if it's something where you're trying to get out of where you are, and you're like, you know what, let me try this thing over here, but it might lack some integrity, Spirit is saying, don't do it, right? This is the time to complete old cycles, because you have the World card, and this is clarifying the flag, which is saying, don't be tempted to lower your standards, because if you don't, all you're going to manifest is more burdens, because here you have the 10 of Wands, right? More struggles. This is the time to complete those cycles, right? So you could birth something new. And of course, Apple is the one that talked about temptation. So here it has Knight of Pentacles, it has a Knight of Swords, and you have the 10 of Pentacles. So right away, I know exactly what it's saying. So what they're telling me is, for some of you, you may have very quickly tried to get yourself like up the ladder. You know what I mean? Because Knight of Pentacles is an energy of slow and steady wins the race. It's very diligent, but it's hard work. It's the kind of work that, most of us don't like, because it's the routine stuff. It's not the fun stuff, right? But it's because you're building a solid foundation. Now, what happened is some of you may have felt like, you know what, Knight of Swords, I'm going to rush this thing, right? I don't want to have to sit here and plot away day after day and, not see results for the next 20 years. I'm going to try and find a way to expedite myself to this 10 of Pentacles. And this is where some of you, if this is a past situation that you're now working your way out of, may have fallen into temptation. And so Spirit is saying this is not the time to repeat that again. I'm going to run out of time. But let's clarify Quill, which is get back to basics. So you have the 2 of Pentacles, right? You also have the Empress, which is beautiful because that's abundant energy, that's fertility. You have the 6 of Swords, which is a healing energy. It's a moving on. And then you have the 5 of Swords. So some of you are still in this energy of contemplating, do I continue with the way I've been, right? And continue to get the results that I've been getting? Or do I just kind of like cut this loose, turn a page completely and start over, right? But again, I'm getting very strong. This message is about walking the straight, the straight and the narrow, right? Like your higher self. I'm gonna do